I would like to give a little bit of explanation about the test on comparative view on marriage by various Christian traditions for the sake of everyone, but more so from those or for those who belong to other traditions. I have in the notes and the assigned readings for this week all or most of what you need to answer the questions. Precisely why we have two boxes for asking questions is for you to ask for clarification, and hardly anyone does except about other matters. Every time there is an assignment, after I go through it, did some readings, I would, if I were one of you, ask for clarification of these things that I don't understand, within reason, of course. The first item should have been Catholic theology. It was my mistake to presume that you will translate it to Catholic. We all know from the notes that a certain event happened brought on by the climate of dissatisfaction with the Roman Catholic Church over its misuse of power, resources, governance, administration of sacraments, immorality, corruption, etc. in the 16th century. The reason why we put 16th century to date, the Protestant Reformation, is that it did take almost an entire century to really feel the effects of the establishment of different Christianities. It started in 1517 when Luther nailed his 95 Theses on the door of the Castle Church in Wittenberg. In fact, the 500th anniversary of Luther's action that sparked the Reformation is underway, and Wittenberg is making elaborate preparations. I hope that if you can travel, you will go to Germany and go to Wittenberg. Ask around, and I'm sure that you will be able to find the Wittenberg chapel where Luther is actually buried underneath. Orthodox churches in the East are not particularly affected by the Roman Catholic Church in the 16th century. We all know that since 1054, with the Great Schism, they had more or less become independent from Roman Catholicism, would not even want to do anything with them. Their marriage liturgy might have gone some gradual changes, but by the 16th century, everything might be pretty set. Just remember that these churches that separated from the Roman Church would, of course, try to get away from Catholic practices, who also is the last to relax their guidelines. Marriage, as governed by God's law, is to be understood that we get God's laws from Scripture, and all Christian traditions are very much into the authority of Scripture. The Protestants and the Orthodox do not believe Christ instituted marriage because it is not in the Bible. The Orthodox is midway between Catholic and Protestant. It can also be stricter when it comes to what they already established, especially those that were established that can be considered as ancient. So the liturgy sacramental practice remained the same for centuries, and they take pride in that. The Catholic Church has seen some updating in their Vatican I or Vatican I and Vatican II councils at the turn of the 20th century and in the 1960s, respectively. The gray area as far as divorce is concerned is still not proclaiming it as something that it teaches. The Catholic Church will not teach it per se, but of course it will talk about divorce as something that should be the last resource and should be discouraged. Still, remarriage without annulment is definitely a Roman Catholic thing. Anything to do with canon law after the Schism and the Protestant Reformation applies to the Catholic Church solely. The canon was invented by the Roman Catholic Church. Of course, the reformers would not want to adopt that, because that's precisely why they are going away from the Roman Catholic Church. Pater familias pater is Latin, and it means father. It means families ruled by the head of the family, who is clearly the father. You can deduce which which tradition has this for a model from the readings that I recommended. Remember that most of the traditions are being subjected to changes that are happening in the modern world, and all of them are trying to hold on to their traditions as best as they could, especially with those that are scripture based. The reason why some traditions or some of the practices cannot be easily done away with is because they are found in the Bible. But some compromises are being made every day, subtle ones, maybe just an accommodation, but not really to do away with doctrines based on scripture. The short answers are easy. They are all from the readings. If you think there is a gray area, explain your choice. In summary, the Roman Catholic Church is more different than similar to all the other traditions and are the strictest in many cases. If you have to make a difficult choice, bear that in mind. I hope this helps.